Everyone. So we're going to be starting a new project this week, and the project is called Drop the Cigar. And this project is basically about the human respiratory system, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the diseases and the infections and the problems that are developed inside of the respiratory system due to external and internal factors. So, in this project, you're going to be working together in teams and you will be getting case studies of different people who might be suffering from different diseases because of genetics or because of smoking or drug abuse or anything of the sort. And you will be required to do a lot of research in order to find suitable donors for lung transplants. You will be trying to find out the relationship between cancer cells and the environment. And you will also be briefly introduced to case studies about drug abuse, and you will try to find out methods to help people overcome addictions. So basically, what your respiratory system is, it's a network of organs and tissues that help you breathe. This system helps your body absorb oxygen from the air so that your organs can work, and it also cleans waste gases that you breathe in, such as carbon dioxide from your blood. And common problems of the respiratory system include allergies or respiratory diseases and infections. Okay, so now we're going to be watching a quick video explaining what your respiratory system is.
Take a big breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Now let's begin. You just use your respiratory system. It is a system in humans that is designed. Take a big breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Now let's begin. You just use your respiratory system. It is a system in humans that is designed to extract oxygen from the air so we can use it in respiration around the body, and at the same time get rid of carbon dioxide gas into the air, which is the waste product from respiration. Let's follow a molecule of oxygen gas as it travels through the respiratory system. As you inhale, the molecule is drawn in through the mouth or the nose. It goes into the back of the throat where it enters a tube called the trachea. The trachea or windpipe has special rings of cartilage to keep it open at all times so you can breathe if you are lying down asleep or on a trampoline. The oxygen molecule now travels down the trachea and then will go into either the left or the right lung via a tube called the bronchus. This bronchus then splits into smaller tubes called bronchioles. And finally, the oxygen molecule will make its way into a tiny air sac called an alveolus. These alveoli are surrounded by tiny blood vessels called capillaries, and the oxygen molecule now passes across from the air into the blood via a process called diffusion. At the same time, a carbon dioxide molecule goes the other way, coming out of the blood and into the alveoli as you exhale. As you exhale, the carbon dioxide will take the journey back up the bronchioles, a bronchus, the trachea, and out of the mouth. This happens to millions of molecules with each breath, as you have about 300 million alveoli in each lung. On average, you breathe like this 12 to 16 times a minute. Why not count yours after this video? Unlike your digestive system, the respiratory system is a dead end. If something bad gets into your lungs, it's very hard to get it back out. As usual, the body has an answer to this. Look very closely at the cells lining the trachea and the bronchi. Some of them have tiny little hairs on them called cilia. And in between these cells are other cells called goblet cells that are secreting mucus. This mucus traps dirt, dust and bacteria before it enters the lungs. The cilia then waft this mucus up into the mouth where it can be swallowed to be killed by your stomach acid. There are many things that can go wrong with your lungs, such as asthma, pneumonia, and diseases associated with smoking, such as emphysema and chronic bronchitis. However, if you have a problem, a doctor may perform a bronchoscopy. This is when they put a tube with a light and a camera on it into your airways and look for signs of inflammation or bleeding. Take a big breath in, hold it, and breathe out, and relax.
So now that you know what your respiratory system is and how it works, we're going to be starting off with talking about the effect of smoking on the human body. So inhaling tobacco causes a lot of damage to many of your body's organs and systems. And one of these systems is your respiratory system. The effects of tobacco on your respiratory system could include irritation of the trachea, which is your windpipe, and larynx, which is your voice box. Smoking can also cause a reduction in the function of your lungs and breathlessness because it causes your airways to swell up and narrow and produce excess mucus. It can cause impairment of the lungs clearance system, leading to the buildup of poisonous substances, which result in lung irritation and damage. It could also cause increased risk of lung infection and symptoms such as coughing and wheezing, and it causes permanent damage to the air sacs of the lungs. Some of the other systems in your body that are affected by smoking are the circulatory system. Smoking can cause raised blood pressure and heart rate. It can cause the constriction, which is the tightening of the blood vessels, which can result in a drop in your skin temperature. It causes less oxygen to be carried by the blood during exercise. Your blood becomes stickier, which means it is more prone to clotting, damage to the lining of the arteries, which is thought to be a contributing factor to atherosclerosis, which is a buildup of fatty deposits on the walls of your arteries. It causes reduced blood flow to the extremities, which are your fingers and your toes, and it also increases the risk of stroke and heart attack due to blockages of the blood supply. Smoking also affects your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to infections such as pneumonia and influenza. Your If you're ever ill, it makes it more severe and longer lasting, and it lowers the levels of protective antioxidants such as vitamin C in your blood. Apart from smoking, there are a lot of other drugs that can cause respiratory defects. So, smoking doesn't just include traditional cigarettes, it also includes e cigarettes, which also are known for causing severe lung damage and death. Marijuana is another substance that people smoke that can also cause respiratory problems, including chronic bronchitis. Smoking crack cocaine can cause lung damage and severe respiratory problems. The use of some drugs, such as opioids, may cause breathing to slow down, or it might block the air from entering your lungs, or make asthma symptoms even worse. Some other drugs that can affect the respiratory system are cocaine, DXM, GHB, heroin, inhalants, ketamine, marijuana, PCP, prescription opioids, tobacco, nicotine, and vaping. And we will be talking about some of these in detail and how you can help people overcome these addictions or how the misuse of these drugs can lead to death. So now that you know what we're going to be studying, I'm just going to quickly explain to you how we plan on exploring the topic. So the first thing we're going to do is an introduction to the anatomy of the respiratory system. This is going to be the tuning in and finding out section of your inquiry cycle, and you will start by reading about the structure of the respiratory system and finding out how it functions, and then you can go further with it and you can research about the different things that affect your respiratory system and how it functions. The second part is going to be discussions and questions. This is going to be the sorting out section of your inquiry cycle. You will start to process the information that you have gathered, and you are going to figure out how you can use this information for your final project. And if you have any questions at this point, we will be discussing those as well so that we can find answers before we go further. The third part is going to be the going further and reflections section of your inquiry cycle. At this point, you're going to start to apply the knowledge that you have attained in order to understand different diseases related to the respiratory system. And the fourth and the final part is going to be your final project. This will be the taking action section of your inquiry cycle. And at this point, you're going to be required to work in teams, and you will be given a problem regarding what you have studied through the course of this unit, and you will be expected to find the best solutions. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any further questions, you can email us. Our email addresses are listed below. Have a nice day.